Good evening, everyone. Welcome to IMG Research Academy. In IMG Research Academy, we talk all things research. And then now we're beginning to talk not just only research, but how we can better position ourselves to make more impact in the countries where we are, either we're in Canada and the US. Many of us are applying to the US pathway or are already in the US medical pathway, others like Canada, and some few ones are beginning to join us from other areas of the world. We're a collection of physicians that are focused on how to demystify clinical research for several reasons, patient care, policy, health policies, and also help our career trajectory. Every Sunday, we meet to talk one thing about research or another. Some other times we have nothing to say. We just meet as a family and just strategize on how we can make ourselves better. Today, we have a founding member of this group. Her name is Dr. Abimbola. She's an internal medicine resident. I had to look for someone that would talk to us, and she's not talking research today. She's going to talk on other topics. Because today we had a special thing about the person that was supposed to come and present on the second part of personal statement, but we couldn't get the person on seat. So Dr. Abimbola, welcome. She's in Florida. I won't mention her program because she's not representing her program in this particular talk. It's her free time, out of work time, but she's free to mention her program if she wants to. Many of us are not representing our programs. It's our free out of work time. I just want to say this as a disclaimer, and whatever we share is our personal opinion. Dr. Abimbola, welcome to this talk. I'm going to put you on spotlight, and so many people here are eager to hear what you want to offer. I know you've been experienced in this. Tell us.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Hello. Thank you so much, Dr. Edward, for this opportunity, for this platform. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm Dr. Abimbola. Everyone calls me Habi. Habi is okay. And yes, this is my second year of residency, internal medicine. Yes, and it's in Florida, HCA program. HCA is Florida program, one of the many HCA programs in Florida. As you guys already know, there are so many of them. I'm so happy to be here again. And this is application season, and you're going to be talking a lot about that. And for the interns, I don't know if there is any new ones amongst us. So we'll just touch a little bit about first year residency life, application, and all that. So we titled this program, It's Worth the Fight. And everyone is asking, what's the fight? What's the fight about? Yeah. So things have changed in the last 5 to 10 years. And I can tell you that application, networking, and a lot of things have changed. And it's about to get started. I mean, the rush and the old thing with application and match is just like, in the next 1 month, we're going to be hearing a lot of things with the program directors and a lot of people, networking and calling. Can you put a word in for me? Can you tell your calls are already coming in, but I know it's going to get really serious in the next few weeks. And so I'm here to talk about how we can better network, why you don't have to give up just yet. I know, okay, so just a little bit, a little background about who I am. So after the second match, I matched into my program, the internal medicine program. It was really tough. So the first year, I just did the random stuff. Like everybody was just wanted to submit. I submitted late. I think I was on F1 then. I didn't have my green card. And so I was limited in a way. And that speaks to getting your green card. I don't know if it's still possible to still do all that. I know Dr. Edward, he has this EB2 pathway that he has announced over and over again on the platform. I don't know if you can still do that before September, but if you can, that's a legit viable way to get your green card, because that really made a lot of difference in my application in the second year when I matched. So the first year was like a waste. I spent over almost $4,000 just going through the F1, H1, F1, J1 route. Even though I submitted in October, 2 weeks after the date of submission, because I wasn't certified on time, and I wanted to submit once I was certified. But nevertheless, I needed sponsorship. And so I would always advise anyone that reach out to me to start the EB2 process, or at least, get some or get H1, something better than visa sponsorship, because it's not really worth it. Things have changed, and I can tell you, even the Indians now, they know better not to use the visa sponsorship. They know, and that's one part. So eventually I got in the preparation, the PS, we'll talk about that, CV. I had a lot of mentors and sponsors, a lot of people to check all my documents, and eventually I got in. And I finished school in 2013, 10 years before I got into residency. It was a miracle. So first, it was a miracle to get in with my work permit. And I know this is being recorded, but typically, I don't know if you guys know about HCA programs, but many HCA programs love citizens, American grads. They just have this thing with American grads. But it happened that I got in, and once I got in, my green card came, and everything was just smooth. And the what was it I was going to say? So I got in 10 years grad. It was a little bit tough, but it was a little bit tough because I was 10 years post-grad, and they had this limit of AMGs, Caribbean grad. They really didn't want IMGs because, one, it was a new program, it was barely 5 years, and they also wanted a name. So in my program, for example, and not just in my program, generally in HCA Florida, there are over 22 programs here in Florida. So that's why I'm a little bit, and I'm specifically addressing IMGs, and that's the reason why a lot of IMGs don't apply to HCA Florida programs because I know there's something happening. But let me just speak to this. They like American grads, one, then Caribbean grads, and young grads, as well as green card or citizens. So if you really don't fall amongst this group of people, don't waste your money. I remember doing that in my first year, and a lot of my other friends also spent so much, applying to HCA Florida programs, and none of them got interviews because they have very specific criteria, and beyond that, there's a lot of connections, in-house thing also working for HCA Florida. So if you really don't have someone in, I would not advise you to throw your money there. I really don't think it's worth it. But if you have it, go for it. And another thing I always tell people is this: Florida address. So I've talked about American grad, Caribbean grads. They really love a lot. They love Caribbean grads because Caribbean, Haiti, and all of those islands are very close to Florida. So there are a lot of people from those islands coming to Florida, and that's why they take a lot of Caribbean grads. This is home for them in Florida, so that's big. So if you're from Caribbean, yes, Florida is for you. And that's what they will always tell us so I remember last year speaking to my coordinators, even program directors. They were like, okay, now it's time to, so the first month or first 6 weeks, they were interviewing AMGs. So after AMGs, they were like, now it's time to do FMGs. So we're asking, when are you guys going to do IMGs? They're like, because they want a name that much later in the year, maybe in January, February, that's when they are going to interview IMGs. And really, when I got interviewed then, and even many of my colleagues that matched at the time, IMGs from India and other parts, they interviewed most of us in January. And so they have some dynamics. It's very, very funny the way they do things there. But as you know, that's the way it is. A lot of questions, a lot of people have been reaching out to me about HCA Florida program. So that's it about them. But no matter who you are, where you're coming from, if I can match after 10 years, and I'm succeeding. I'm doing great in my program, internal medicine. You can do it. Don't give up just yet, and it is worth it. So I titled it as "It is worth it" because just before I matched, I was also giving up. In August, after I didn't match in my first year, I'm like, there are other things my friends are doing. I'm a doctor. I have my MD degree. Nobody can take that away from me. I have friends doing clinical research, so many things in the pharma world, and they were really doing, and they're still doing well, So I was like, what is this thing I'm even doing? I was second guessing myself. I'm like, this is too tough. This is hard. This is hard. When am I even going to get there? A lot of negative friends, so many people are like, you're wasting your time, so many tough, many crazy stuff. And but then I just knew that I couldn't do any other thing other than medicine. I was just convinced. And as you know, I don't know if you know, I'm a Christian, and I pray a lot. I'm like, no, God, I'm not going to give up on this. I'm not going to give up on this. You brought me thus far, and I know you're able to take me there. So I gave it a shot. One thing I did was to surround myself with like-minded people. And I'll tell you, if you're at that point of, second guessing yourself, another thing I also did was, in order to, to have that motivation, I started reaching out to people. So even though I needed help, I needed connect, I needed networks, I needed so many things. So whatever thing I had, I would always throw it out. So I built a network of friends for research, a network of friends for PS, for CV review, for everything. I had everything at my disposal. It was intentional because I knew um, my motivation was not 100% in terms of going ahead and for because I had failed in the last match. I didn't match. That was like a failure on me. I'm like, what's the I mean, who says I'm going to match this year? And everybody around me, a lot of people around me were saying, just give up, find something else, and that this thing is connect. If you don't have connect, you cannot get in. You're 10 years, so many negative things. As you're hearing it now too. So I started helping. So the main thing here is sow a seed of kindness, and whatever kindness you sow will always come back to you. So the people I started helping, they felt, like they felt like they needed to pay me back somehow. So whatever information, whatever news they hear, instead of throwing it out in the public, they would one way or the other, tell me, are you doing this? Have you done this? I heard this. I heard if you send a letter to this person, some even gave me numbers to call. So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, I can't give up now. Okay, it's time. And that was in August. So 2 weeks to that was in August, late August, 2 weeks to 2 to 3 weeks to the last date. Then I started sending everybody, look at my PS, look at this. I'm like, oh, I was so motivated. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. So it was like last minute. Eventually, I got everything ready. And thank God for the great support I have in. I don't know if he's here, Dr. Doyinolawe. He will always be my friend for life. That guy is something. He's a great guy. So he's also on this group. He's now a fellow now. And so it was one of my my mentors then, and we got it done, we submitted, and that's why I'm here. So I know I've been talking a lot, and I talk a lot. Internists talk a lot. What do you expect? So first year, and I'm sorry I'm giving you the story, but I'm giving you the story to tell you that it is really worth it. Even if it is psychiatry, family medicine, whatever you're doing, I'm one person that I'm always involved in a lot of things happening, even in my program. Like I'm listening to what somebody is doing and attending is doing. I'm already seeing myself beyond residency. And I also have a business degree. So I'm not a typical doctor, So I've heard say so many things and I'm like, wow. So this is what my medical license can do. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Thank God I didn't give up. Thank God I didn't give up. So I don't know. I mean, this is I'm on I'm on camera now. I really can't say a lot of things about what you can do, but if there are things you want, clarification,
We
you want
can
to
make
ask some
this.
questions.
Let's just make this like real life scenario, right? Is there any game changer since you graduated 10 years ago? Is there any specific game changer you would say specifically that's that made you match? I just list like two. The topmost one.
The topmost one, as you know, I'm a God person, so I don't exist without God. So God's grace is the number one. Then the number two, I already said it. Number two, my strategy was kindness. I was so intentional. There is nothing that passes right in front of me that I don't have somebody in mind to help. This is now my lifestyle. This is how I
So
live
are you
now.
trying to say that is it metaphysical or the laws of the spiritual or the laws of whatever the unknown functions here? So if you help someone, then somehow help is waiting your world. The universe is generating help. Is that what
Exactly what I'm saying. Whatever thing you think you need is if there is any need right now, if you need something, for example, personal statement, are you in need of somebody reviewing your personal statement? So that same thing or something similar, it may not be exactly the same thing. Start helping someone else. And
Mm,
before long, you'll
mm,
find somebody to help you.
mm,
And it may not even be that. It may not even be that. It may be just USMLE. It may be that you're good with teaching biostatistics. Don't keep that skill to yourself.
mm,
Offer it. Teach something as easy, as cheap as that. It may
mm,
be an information. Somebody was asking me a question today and was like, "Oh, I love your picture. That where did you take your pictures, your headshots?" And I was like, "JC Penny." And so, I mean, it may even be something as simple as that. Don't let whatever thing you've done end at your own bus stop. No, no. And then beyond that, I told her that you could even get it cheaper. You could get coupons online. You don't have to pay the full price.
mm.
And so I'm giving you these examples to tell you that we are one big family, and you cannot just end at, oh, let me just do my thing. I don't want anybody to copy me. Once I match, that's it for me. No.
Let me ask another quick question. Thank you for that insight. So in total, how many programs do you think is advisable for people to apply to? Whether a
Yes,
young
good question.
graduate like Dr. Ogogo who's
Yes,
applying for the first time, or
yes,
maybe me who's applied, for the opt-in time. What's your
yes.
recommendation?
So yeah, the best thing for an old grad or even a recent grad, I would always say, so in my first my first application, I was just doing regular stuff. I did match the resident, all those stuff. I paid for everything. But were they really useful? I would not advise you to do that. So in this process, you have to be very intentional. And being intentional means doing 50 programs. That is 50, maximum 70. Some will say 25, some will say 30. I think 50 is the average. The reason for doing 50 or 60 or 70 is this. It is very easy for you to sit down and say, okay, I want to do 5 today. And I want to look through all the websites. I want to do everything to make sure I have all the contacts for 5 today. Then tomorrow you take another 5, rather than doing 120 and you're just throwing money into the air, like I did in my first year. And then after then, I remember this thing I'm saying now, I've advised a lot of people, and a lot of people have, seen great results doing this. And that brings me to networking. Okay, so that essentially 50. Yeah, so don't let me jump. Okay.
Okay, no. Yeah, talking about networking, a lot of us are in a position where we really don't know who to talk to.
Right.
We're just isolated. I use Dr. Obogu, for example. He's isolated in Nigeria. None of his friends has matched. Nobody he knows. The Edward he knows 500 people. And no other person to turn to. And I know there's similar people in this particular group. I'll be talking about networking. What the heck is networking? How does it even start? Where does it turn
Yes.
to? I'm living in my island. I'm applying in this residency program. What the heck is it?
So networking is coming out of your shell. So
Okay,
to network
let's put it in
is
practical terms. So Michelle is Dr. Obogo. Dr. Obogo, I hope you don't mind. I'm just mentioning your name, but I know you're my brother. That's why I'm always calling your name.
Not at all, sir. Not at all,
Okay.
sir.
So he's in a shell,
Okay.
surrounded by Fulani girls in Zamfara State. Knows nobody apart from attending this meeting. And then after this meeting, everybody leaves, right? So he has come out from his shell. At least someone directed him to this meeting. What next?
yeah. So you left your shell, your Fulani shell in court. And now you're here with like-minded, people, doctors, applicants, and all that. So, for example, on High Energy Research Academy, I think we're 400 or 500. So you have 50 programs. Now that you have 50 programs, you'll start with the first one. Maybe the first one is HCA East Florida. That's my program. Okay. So you type HCA East Florida first on your internet. Whatever you find, whatever the list of residents you find, look for people that look like you. You go to LinkedIn, a lot of times, so another trend now is that the social media space, that is Instagram, Twitter, is where a lot of residents are now.
Let's just
Not
hold
really
it.
LinkedIn.
Let's just hold
Not
it there.
really.
Let's just hold it there. You mentioned about looking at your program lists and
Yes.
looking at the people who are this program. I
Yes.
know we've had this conversation 1 million times. There are so many
Yes.
people that have matched here.
And to another one, like this whole thing is filled with photos.
I know that there are over three.
Hello?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can hear you. No, I kept quiet because of the other interference. I know that there are
Okay.
over 300 people that have matched in this group, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we have also the culture in the group is that people can reach out to you as long as they're not coming to scam you.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that is finding it difficult to reach out to other people? And we, as the part of leadership of this particular group, we've been constantly talking to residents behind the scene. Say, hey, this person is people are gonna reach out to you, not even this person from this group, as long as they mention their name from this group, give them a fair hearing and see what you can do. I don't know if there's anybody in the group that has had roadblocks in reaching out to people, because someone just said that she is isolated. So I just wanted to know, did you just recently join us, and have you encountered roadblocks in meeting people? So for example, what Dr. Abimbola said, she's in HCA, and then you're not just meeting the person because you're probably going to have an opening line. I'm trying to apply to your HCA program. I noticed that you're a HCA program and you're also in ING Research Academy. My name is this, right? I think that way there's a connection, because once there's a connection, then the conversation becomes easier. For example, I receive over 30 messages on my phone every day. I don't bother opening them, many of them, right? So I kind of skim through. There's no connection. I don't even know. Dr. Abibol, I'm not taking your shine, but tell me.
It's okay. Yeah. All right. So no, that's fine. So I don't know if there is anybody here that is having problems with networking. And I think if you're having problems with networking, let's assume there's somebody here having problems with networking. It may be the way you're networking. So people don't really like when you come and you're just saying, this is Abimbol. I know that's the way they tell us to do it. But even me, I don't like it. And it's not just me. A lot of people in my program, and I hear a lot of people laugh about it, that well, maybe it's easy for them to laugh now that they are in, right? They'll be like, oh, somebody sent me a message asking me to put in a good work for them. So it sounds really crazy if they don't know you, number one. Two, you've really not introduced yourself. They don't know much about you. Oh, can you put in a good word for me? Three, there's really nothing you're doing for them. Why should they put you, in their space? What's your benefit to them? And that brings me to the best way to network is to be of good use. Let them see you as useful. So don't come begging. Once you come with the attitude of begging, it is very irritating. It is so irritating. So take that mindset of begging. Come as though you have something to offer. Once you come as though, and that's why I'm talking about kindness. So I have a big network. There is nothing in this world that I am short of. I have everything at my disposal. Because almost everybody, I'm not boasting now, but almost everybody around me, there is something at one point in time that I've given to them. So whenever I reach out to them, they have somebody to reach out to on my behalf. So like I told you, that mindset of kindness, when it is in you, you reach out to, maybe for example, somebody on this profile on IMG Research Academy. Hello, hi doc. It may even be from their picture. Oh, I love your picture. Try to be someone that connects one thing to another.
So
Thank
in
you
essence,
so
what you're
much.
trying
Mhm.
so in essence, what you're trying to say is having people skill, correct? Because
Yes.
people skill, it's very soft skill. We're going to talk about soft skills that are required in this whole process. Before you go further, I just have two comments. Dr. Adako Kafo said, I really don't know anyone who can help me. Dr. Faith said, I didn't just join. Most people I met already have someone. And then there's a long message also saying that this group has been helpful. Let me see if I can scroll down. I still hope to have more network. But the group has been helpful. I reached out to a lot of people. So let's tackle Dr.
Give me a second. And it's not just this group. So a lot of people have reached out to me about research, even random people I see on Indian group, different places. So I'm like, oh, you're looking for research, this, message Dr. Edward, this, and everybody comes here. And I also joined their own group. Once I joined their own group, so it's a big network. So even if you're not able to get those people here, go to Joey's group. There are people that have not even joined Joey's group. So this is generally what I advise people to do. I'll tell them to go to the search button of any WhatsApp group, maybe Kanji, maybe Joey, maybe IMG Research Academy, and then I'm going to type Louisiana. Once I type Louisiana, maybe 50 search messages will come up. 50, maybe. Louisiana is popular, or New York. And then I'll start reading, scrolling through. It's so easy on Joey's group because a lot of people will post their full details, their profile and everything. And then I'll start writing. A friend of mine in this last match, she got 3 interviews through Joey. 3 interviews.
So before you go far,
just by doing this thing, I'm telling you.
So
all right.
Before you go far, let's see if we can. There's also another third question. Let's see if we could tackle the first two. Dr. Adaku said, I really don't know anyone that can help me. So the question is it because you don't have access to people that can help you, or you have not made openings? Dr. Adaku, if you can unmute your mic so we can just talk.
Okay.
So we're trying to walk around this thing called networking, that famous word, networking. So in this group, have you actually made attempts to talk to anybody?
Yes. I've written some of the hosts that have come on, asking if I can have their number or email or somehow that we can connect. But then I don't get back afterwards. So, yeah.
So when you reached out your first, can you share a typical screenshot of your first contact, your first few messages to that person? You can redact the person's name. Let us just have a typical example. And then I can give you I can give you an opportunity to share your screenshot. Let's just see what it is. Because
Okay.
for example, if someone matched and I reach out, congratulations, I think most people respond. Right?
Yeah, I've done that.
Okay, so let's see a typical one where they didn't respond so that we can follow up from there and then go down and see. Because while trying to learn this thing called networking, and then we'll
I
see.
think it's probably just because they don't know me, I think it's just because they don't know me. Because usually I don't know them. It's just from here and
I see.
introduce myself.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
One of the best places one of the best opportunities to do this, Dr. Bimbola, I believe you agree with me, is event breaking moments. For example, we are now chief residents, right? I know that people didn't reach out to her, some people did. Some of them that did, she responded, some of them that didn't, she didn't respond. So event breaking moments are time to reach out to people, not just only to reach out to just say, I need help, because sometimes when we are desperate, that's the only thing that comes up from us. That's I really agree. But what about, hey, congratulations, and then congratulations, and then congratulations, and then how's your day go? Oh, I live in the same place. Just figure out something to have. Like me and Dr. A lot of people have a lot of conversations in this group that are not even medicine related. Let's say Dr.
Right.
Ibrahim,
Yeah, that's true.
right? Or Dr. What's this urologist? I think I saw him here just now. But you know yourself, know the person I'm talking. Like he'll just give you a random thing and then some kind of conversation. So that kind of approach where it doesn't look like this, it's just a trade and barter kind of thing. First of all, makes you to learn and get to know the person, right? Or me and Dr. Weze, Dr. Reina, we just start talking something very random. I think that approach may work for some people because I'm answering the third question also, the hypothetical opening, right? So the one hypothetical opening, that's Dr. Fiok. Sometimes me and he will just go random on some things, just talking. And I don't think if Dr. Fiok reaches out to me when now he's applying, he will be a stranger because over the years we've kind of developed some form of, I've never met him in person, but some form of unseen discussions about other things that are not even related to life, right?
And sorry to jump in. And that's why before you reach out to anybody, study them. Look for their interests. Look for the things they're interested in. You have to be very intentional. It's like if you have to read their biography, if you have to go on their page, whatever thing they are doing, wrap yourself around it. Once you wrap yourself around it, they will perceive you from afar that this person is intentional and this person is not a joke. I'm telling you the way people laugh, the way my colleagues laugh. They have a lot of people reaching out to them and they're like, can you imagine this person? So, and that's what is happening in closed doors, behind the scene. So you have to.
I know it's your day. I just jumped in moderating. Dr. Reina's hand is up. Dr. Reina is also a resident. I introduced the residents so that you people will begin to know them. She not only a resident, but she has served us selflessly in this group over the years. She's like one of our major moderators.
Thank you. I just wanted to just add to what you were saying, share my experience with some of the applicants in terms of reaching out. So when people matched, the first time I applied, when people matched, I really genuinely was very excited for people. I reached out, like when they post when they post their pictures, like when they put, I used to get so excited, and I'll reach out to them, I'll high five them, and I'll be like, congratulations. And the reason I want to share this is the program I matched in, I didn't know anybody, or I thought I didn't know anybody. I just signaled them, reached out because I met criteria. And then in between that time, I lost my mom. So I lost the whole momentum for, oh, we're going to prepare for interview. We're now going to do this and follow up this and this. My whole mind was on my mom's death. So my second interview that, in fact, the first interview that came was 2 days after I lost my mom. The next interview that came, which was close after that, was the one I thought, okay, this program I really like so much. Oh, I have time I'm going to prepare and do everything and reach out to people and network. Obviously, I was not in that time space. Anyways, in fact, the interview kind of crept in on me because it was like, oh my God, a night to the interview. And I was talking to a friend. I was like, I don't know anybody in this program. I don't know anything about this program. I'm not in the mind space to prep for interview. And then I was looking through and I saw a Nigerian there. And I was like, oh my God, this would be so irresponsible of me to be reaching out to this person at this late hour, 2 days to my interview. No, 2 days. Yeah, 2 days to my interview. Then I went to the WhatsApp group and I said, okay, I'm just going to reach out to this person. And I went to the WhatsApp group and lo and behold, it was someone I had reached out to when they first matched. So this is a year ago. And I had congratulated her. We had chatted. Like she had been like, thank you so much. I had reached out. We had communicated, right? So I now followed that thread on WhatsApp and I was like, hey, hi, I got an interview at your program. I'm interviewing next tomorrow. And if it would be okay for me and you to chat, and so that you can run me through it and tell me about your program. Certainly, like God is wonderful because I kept my fingers crossed. She reached out to me that evening, the night before my interview, and then she started running me through things about the program. So I just want to say that it's important to celebrate people, not because you're looking for something, but just genuinely to celebrate them, be happy for them. That's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Beze. Dr. Bibola, before you jump in, so one comment just came in, and then the last part of the second comment that we're addressing is looks like he's kissing us, or he said looks lack of like us kissing for lack of better words. And then the other person said, some people don't want to help you. That's the bottom line. Whether you kiss their ass or you don't kiss their ass. I think I'm loving this session, how people are expressing themselves. I once felt this way. And I think what these people are feeling is correct, right? It's very real. Like really real. Like as when I was there, like this is like kissing ass. But in one of my Ed's hard talk, I said something and it might be irritating to some people, part of the process in adjusting in a new system is kissing us.
True.
It's very annoying because we're all matured people. Probably we've already done residencies, we've already achieved a lot in our own spheres. A lot of us are big boys in our own things, done nurse practitioner, have done a lot of things, been experienced in life, married with kids, grown-up kids, and then you see yourself chasing after this young boy, right? Or this young girl who is supposed to give you help, but you keep calling him, he's not responding, you keep picking, he's not responding, just very annoying. And then you call it kiss ass. And yes, it's part of the game. It's part of the game. There's a story. Kenneth Kaunda. He said the white man was bound to him, and he built in his house, he built a shut door so that the white man so that anybody that wants to enter will bow. And then once you bow and enter, you say, oh, I told you these people are going to bow for me. So he was waiting for the white man. The white man, I think they wanted to collect gold or something. And the only way to talk to him was to go through that door. But they knew that he actually wanted to use the press to show that the white man bowed for him. You know what they did? They said, okay, is it not to swallow this ego, to bow through this thing, and they will give us a kingdom. And then they went through, they bowed, they went through, And he said, I told you the white man will bow for me. And they entered, they did the negotiation, and they collected the land, and then they evicted him. I don't mean if you get in, evict people, right? But there's a culture that we're trying to break, which is that kiss us already. It's already there. Just bear with it. It's like, it's annoying, but there's a new orientation now. When you get in there, you now know that it's not worth kissing us. Right? It's not worth getting another person to make you kiss us. Okay, so you change the system, right? And then the change begins from us.
Yeah.
Okay, but I quite understand. It's very annoying, like very annoying. But what do we now do? We need to get in. Okay, if you have another theory not to kiss us, tell me. Let's
Oh my
use that. Let's use that formula. If there's another formula that you have that we can propose. And also remember that these people are all adults, like individual people on their own life, running their life that they are raised. For example, right now, I'm about to hit the road to Miami to go party with my daughters after this meeting, right? Do I have the time for plenty things? Maybe not, maybe yes, right? Very people have this altruistic nature. There's what they call altruistic nature.
Altruism.
Altruism, people who can actually really give. Right? Other people are not like that, right? So if you're an altruistic person and then you be wondering why the other person doesn't actually want to give something, then you're not seeing life justly. Dr. Abimbola, I know it's your day. Continue with your line of thought. We're deviating, but I hope I have addressed some things. But I truly understand that, and we're trying to break this culture here, if it's possible.
Yeah, so the kissing ass thing, I'm sorry. Just quickly, the kissing ass thing, it doesn't, okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Dr. Mo.
No.
Oh, I thought you wanted to say something. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the kissing ass thing, okay, he wants to say something. Go ahead. Is someone there?
No, he said no.
All right. So the kissing ass thing doesn't end at March, during March and application. Unfortunately, it continues till the end of your first year. You're only free. I'm telling you that
it doesn't
you're
continue to
only
the end of
free
your
when you
first year.
become doc. You're only free until you become a senior.
It doesn't continue it doesn't stop when you become your first year. It's actually a life process.
It's actually, that's true.
Actually a life corporate organization kind of thing. Many of us who have been into corporate organization, if you want to climb the ladders of corporate organization, kiss ass, you will climb.
You have to
lobby.
True.
Except you want to go independent and get your own system. So build your own private practice.
That's true.
But right now, we're not in a position to build our private practice. So we're left with that other option of, is it called ass kissing, whatever they call it.
Right. But there's this scripture in the book of Proverbs for Christians. It says, your gift makes room for you. Is also in the same line. A wise person, and that's why they talk about merit, scores. So if you don't have scores, you have something. What do you have? And that's why I'm always saying, when you get into people's space, when you go asking them questions, make sure you come with your gift, because it is your gift that will open that door for you. That's the book of Proverbs. So what is your gift? Your gift may be going to learn about this person and then coming and testing them, sending them a message, or making that call, and then you're talking as though you've been in a meeting with them, you know them, and they're so happy with you. They're so excited. They cannot even wait to meet you. They're like, how did you know so much about me? So your gift will always make room for you. So we just have to be very, very intentional in all of these things. It's the same thing with your PS. It's the same thing with your CV. You have to come as though you have something to offer. A lot of IMGs, a lot of us, even before now, I also used to have that mentality of that begging mentality. As if I am nothing. As if I don't have anything to offer. I was so shy. I couldn't even look into people's eyes. I couldn't do much. So we have to, yank off those mentality and then look up. look into that face and I'm like, if you can't help me, it's your business. I'm moving to the next person. The next person will help me. And beyond any other thing, I never see myself as lower or lesser than anybody. Like I always say, I'm always in a position of helping the people that even want to help me. Because even that person that wants to help me has a need. You just have to identify that need. I was telling someone, I think it was my brother, if I sit down with Bill Gates today, I think it's by the way, it's not even I think, I know it's by the wisdom of God. I can identify that need Bill Gates has. And once I figure out that need, I'll feel it. I'm going to answer, I'm going to feel that position. I'm going to that need. And before long, Bill Gates will start running after me. It's the same thing. It works every time. And that's all about networking. Identify that position that person needs. A lot of second years now, finally, as I'm going to end, because we're almost rounding up now. A lot of second years now, a lot of them want to apply for fellowship. If there is something I know a lot of people are crazy about in their second year, is ITE and research. You can't really do much about IT. IT is in training exam. You can't help them so much about IT. But if there is something you can do with QHI projects, quality improvement projects, even if he's, joining them, researching, checking materials, suggesting topics, doing their, just engaging in, good discussions with them. Or is it research programs, research projects, conferences, joining them, doing a lot of things. A lot of them are, they are running around and they need help with these things. So when you go to LinkedIn and you see, incoming or aspirant of a monk fellowship, cardiology fellowship, know that that is their interest. From then on, start working on something. Maybe it may take you 2 weeks to work on something that that will benefit them. So use that style to get into their space. And then you ask them, you tell them you're working on this research project, you're working on this, you're working on that, and then you would like them to mentor you. Start with that. Ask for mentorship. From then on, you can tell them that you would like for them to edit, proofread. Okay, so we've talked about residents. I'm telling you, a lot of residents need that help now. So don't go begging them to speak for you. Fill that space. Perform that task, that role for them. Moving on, another thing you can do is hospitalist. They are also in the ears of program directors. The people working in that, it may even be a cleaner, it may be anybody, it may be a director, anybody in that hospital. So look for them. A lot of times you can even go to the hospital, just walk around. Look for them, get their names, maybe the hospitalists or the primary care physicians in that hospital. Go online, type their name on LinkedIn, message them, befriend them, offer them something. It may even be a research, whatever, just offer them something and start befriending them for at least 1 month. Before long, they will know somebody that will know somebody. It's not possible for you not to get somebody that knows somebody in Louisiana State University or somewhere. I also talked about Joey's group. Joey's group, that always happen over and over again. IMG Research Academy, it always happen over and over again. We should never have anybody begging anybody, please help me, please help me. No. Be of help. Offer something to them. And really, they are going to show up for you.
That was 30 minutes or 1 hour of pure putting out your heart to help people. Dr. Bimbola will truly appreciate you.
Yeah, Doc. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I know I'm going to stop recording and